got it. See?
Self-taught, no lessons.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, slide's hard. Like real hard.
It is hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about slides. So in front of us, we've got my phone, which I'll put over here. We've got an assortment of slides from the Rock Slide. They graciously sent us a bunch of stuff. I have worked with the Rock Slide since the basically very beginning of my career.
Yeah.
Danny Songhurst and his sort of team of folks have been great supporters of what I've been up to for long before I really even deserved to have the support. They were on board, and I'm really grateful to those guys. We did a signature slide a handful of years ago. I've been using his slides for a long time. I was using the medium size Rock Slide I found at Groon's Guitars in Nashville, like going back almost 15 years ago now. And then I lost it, and there were no dealers anywhere near. There was a Rock Slide dealer in Toronto and a Rock Slide dealer in Vancouver. So I emailed him, was like, is there any way that you would consider selling direct to me? And he was like, oh man, I'll just hook you up. I'll send you a box of slides for your trouble.
Cool.
And then they got lost in the mail. And they eventually showed up like months and months and months later. But in the meantime, he said, I can't just send you another box of slides for free. Why don't you send me a stack of CDs and, for your band and, whatever, we'll call it even. I was like, that sounds like a shitty deal for you, but okay, fine. So I sent him a stack of CDs, and then like, I want to say like a year later, he was like, I just listened to your record and I really like it. I was like, hell yeah, man. Well, thanks for listening to it. And so that began our friendship. And then, he would sell direct to me because, again, there were no dealers in Winnipeg. There now are.
Cool.
Long and McQuaid carries them.
Awesome.
And it's kind of fun to like see my sort of signature slide on the wall at my hometown music shop. That's really cool.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Why don't you go ahead and like and subscribe?
But what I liked about them was they had made some modifications to your standard metal tube slide that took it to kind of the next level for me. It was like the first time that I had tried something that I felt like actually made a difference.
Right.
And there's like all kinds of gimmicky things you can find out there. But it was the first time that I put on a slide that had modifications. I was like, oh, this actually makes it easier to play slide.
Right.
And they fit really well. So I messed around with a bunch of sizes, and then at one point I asked Danny if he could make me a small slide in the length of the medium slide, and it was too long. And so basically we messed around, and then we landed on something, and then he had sort of said, well, we should just do a signature slide. So that's a lot of people will ask me, oh, is there a medium slide in your signature slide? It's like, there's not, because the only thing that's custom about my slide is the length. Everything else is standard. Like the extra mass around the end is standard. The cutaways are both standard. So that's why we only offer one size, and it's just is what it is. So if you want a medium Joey Landreth slide, you just get a medium slide.
Yeah, like this one.
Like that one.
Yeah.
So one of the things we were going to do is we were gonna maybe mess around with different materials, and I thought it could be fun for me to like, because I've always played slide on my pinky finger, but to mess around with playing slide on some of my other fingers and just see how bad it sounds, and then maybe give you a little bit of a crash course. In open tuning.
Yeah, so just to interject of how we got all of this stuff. So with your new D20 JL edition, we're including one of your rock slides for everybody to be able to start trying to mess around with slide and to see, what's different about that. Now, when I first picked up one of yours to try it, I was like, this doesn't fit my finger. Like, this is the same size as yours. And like, I can... Like, yours comes all the way down to your knuckle down here when you're using it, right?
Yep.
My fingers are too fat to do that. So like I couldn't get it down there onto my pinky. But this one actually does fit properly, but it does feel a little bit like wobbly and loose.
Sure. But on your ring finger it feels
Anytime I tried playing slide with just a regular like nickel slide or barrel slide or whatever you call it, right? Like I always use my ring finger whenever I tried.
Yeah.
So, but this feels good, like the medium size. So, so when I talked to Danny about like, hey, could we please buy some of these? And by some, I mean lots. Could we buy them at like dealer price so that it's not really expensive for us. And he graciously like essentially set us up as a dealer to be able to buy them. And he said, hey, I want to send kind of a large variety of the other slides that I make for your staff to try out. And we got the box of them today. And when I looked at the packing slip, I was like, holy shit, Danny, there's like 40 other slides in here. So thank you so much to Danny for sending us over a bunch of stuff to check out. And honestly, when we started shooting one of the other episodes this morning, you said something about your slide. And I was like, hey, I got an idea of what we should do here. Like, let's try all of these. So, yeah.
Okay. Well,
and I would appreciate the crash course because I...
Yeah. Okay, well, number one thing with slide guitar playing, the number one thing is in order to be in tune, the slide has to be totally perpendicular to the strings.
Yes.
So if you might see people doing like an angle thing, that's often if you're playing one note. But as soon as I start playing, adding in other strings, the slide straightens out. That's something that with practice and just becomes second nature. But so you want to start with like, I always get people started by play all 6 strings at the 12th fret.
Also go to an open tuning.
An open tuning doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Lots of great slide players play in standard tuning, so it's not a requisite. I play in an open tuning.
Yeah.
You're playing in an open tuning because we're talking about this together.
Also, anytime I've tried in standard tuning. Not if you're new.
It is tougher. It is tougher, and I think why a lot of people start playing slide in an open tuning is it's a little more immediately gratifying. You get some great sounds a little quicker.
Yeah.
Whereas in standard tuning, you have to think a little bit more. At least I find that I do. So I'm sure somebody in the comment section will be like, I never think about anything.
That's great.
That's good for you. I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Let us know in the comment section if you ever think about anything and what that is.
So. In this particular open tuning, because there's a variety, it's basically like, this is open E that we're playing in. So the bottom 3 strings are kind of like a drop D formation. And then everything except for the B string are basically a power chord. So if you block out that B string, you got a power chord across everything. So a lot of people ask, like, how do you play a minor chord? There's a couple of ways, but one of the best ways is just don't play that G string.
Okay.
And if your singer is singing, then it sounds like a minor chord. That's a bit of a like oversimplification, but so play at the 12th fret. Yeah. Now, you might hear some of this behind. Which is a great effect.
Yeah. Didn't work so well when I tried it. Yeah, I'm good at that.
So one thing you'll see a lot of slide players do, and everybody does it a little differently, is they drag their fingers behind the slide.
Yeah. Yeah, because you can mute with it, right?
That helps that keeps that sympathetic vibration
low,
basically done. And then the other thing that's kind of technical is your right hand muting. So what I do is I drape my thumb across every string I don't want to play, except for the one I do want to play. So if I want to play something on the high E string, my thumb is touching the 5 bottom strings.
Okay. Yep.
Which is where the flappy hands comes from.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's take that same idea, and now you're gonna instead of draping across all 5 strings, just take care of the bottom 3 strings. And just for the sake of, for whatever reason, I refer to the lower strings as the bottom strings, even though physically they're higher. Yeah. I always call this the bottom and that the top. I think, but just musically, I think some people do it differently, but that's how I do it. So your thumb across the bottom string so that you're letting these top 3 strings ring. And then take the slide and from a half step below, so from the 11th fret, slide into the 12th fret and do it in a triplet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can go. So then that's just the G string and the E. That's it.
Yep.
So that's kind of like the beginning of Elmore James' Dust My Broom. That's a great place to start. You can play that at the 12th fret and get your 1 chord, at the 5th fret and get your 4 chord. You can play a whole blues with just basically one finger. That's another benefit for the open tuning.
So do most guys that play slide, do they play without a pick then because of that muting with the right hand?
Again, there's lots of great slide players that play with a pick.
Yeah.
Kevin Bright is one of my all-time heroes. He plays with a pick all the time. I think he plays with his fingers too, but he uses a pick. I find it really hard to play with a pick and slide because of all the muting. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I can see that. It's weird for me. I don't know if I have it on wrong, or if I'm just not used to. Where did that groove? Obviously, that's for your finger to support it, right?
Yeah.
So but if I'm doing that, and then still trying to have it on the fretboard to mute, yeah. You
Well,
almost have to turn it.
Yeah,
it's not perfect.
mine is turned in a little bit.
Yeah, you have it turned. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that way. Yep. Okay.
So.
Yep.
Then the next kind of thing to mess around with is basically you kind of wind up with this. I kind of think of it as a root position. Like if you go back to what is it, Mel Bay Book 1 guitar, we talk about first position, second position, third position, things like that. I don't think about it the same way in this tuning really, but I kind of think about this bar as your home base position. So in my head, that's the 1 chord for whatever key you're going to play in. So there's a couple of things that you can think about. There's a lot of notes available to you right below this sort of 1 chord position for playing licks. So I'm really only going back and forth between the 10th fret and the 12th fret, but I'm going 1 note at a time. So you can kind of mess around with any combination of those notes and you get some very slide, sort of archetypical slide licks. So one really great one is starting with the B string on the 12th fret.
Yep.
And sliding down to the 10th fret. Back up to the 12th fret on the G string. And then the 12th fret on the D string.
Yep. It's so weird to get used to for me. The muting is weird because it's much lighter touch just to deal with the sympathetic, not you're not muting when I mute. I'm muting the whole string, so it's completely dead. But you can't do that, otherwise you actually kill the note.
Yeah, and that's how playing behind the slide works. Is when you push harder, it actually will pull the string away from the slide. So if you push too hard when you mute, then you'll kill the note on the slide itself, right? Like you're saying. So yeah, it does require a bit of a lighter touch in the left hand.
Yeah.
So that lick. there's a lot of depth in that lick, and there's a lot of things to explore just in those sort of small handful of notes. And you'll hear different slide players will interpret those first 3 notes differently. And I would also like, I mean, I've never done any like research on this, but I would kind of like venture to guess that there's also like regional ways to play these kind of things.
Right.
But like you might have somebody, instead of sliding all the way down, so this is the 5th of the scale. So we're kind of going, if you're thinking about it as scale steps, you're going 5, 4, 3, 1. So 5th of the scale, 4th of the scale, 3rd of the scale, root of the scale. You might have somebody, when they slide down to that 4, they might only go part of the way.
Right.
Or you might go halfway in between that even.
Yeah.
And those little subtle differences are kind of what end up giving what you're playing a bit of attitude. So there's a lot of really cool expressive things, and like technically this is a wrong note.
Yeah.
But when you play it in context, it sounds fantastic.
Well, it creates this tension in what you're playing, and I've heard that in your playing because I've been fortunate enough to sit here with you enough.
I thought you were going to say I've been forced to sit here and I know, I'm sorry.
No, where there are those notes that when I hear them, I'm like, if I do that, it's going to sound terrible, but it sounds so right now, like with what you're doing. So
lots to be explored in there. But I often tell people, if you start with that kind of root position, and find your kind of like, you can also full on find a minor pentatonic in there. So, I mean, it's not like you're going to be able to play in that position, but you'll be able to get sounds kind of in that realm. And then there's the next kind of position that I think about is up 3 frets. And so you're kind of shifting from the major to the minor, the direct minor of the key.
Right.
So you get your flat 7, and you can mix them together, but you get the same shape. So you blend those together, and you can kind of weave together some more minor sounds by flopping back and forth. And you go to the 4 chord. So just with those sort of couple of shapes, you've got some sounds in there. But the hardest part by far is getting comfortable physically.
Yeah.
Because this is a very uncomfortable thing to do.
It is.
And anything that you feel comfortable with playing the guitar kind of goes away.
I was going to say, everything about that muting is counterintuitive to how I have always played. Yeah. How I have played everything.
Yeah.
So
something that I like a last sort of lesson would be to work on getting comfortable with the slide on your finger and the muting would be to isolate a string. And you could go through all 6 strings and do this, but play a familiar melody just on one string. You know, I mean, like, if you can't think of something, you could just do a major scale. But I often will tell people to go like, just mess around with it. And until you kind of feel like it's you know, never, like, to this day I've been playing slide guitar since I was like, it's coming up on 20 years.
Yeah.
And I still, if I want to play something with dexterity, I still take the slide off.
Right.
You know, it's still not 100% comfortable. So it's a weird thing. Vibrato.
Yes.
Okay, so this is a funny thing that I accidentally stumbled on. If you think about it coming from your elbow, don't do it right now because it looks real suspect. Like if you do it out in the air and you hold your hand like you're holding a fretboard and then you move your elbow.
Yeah.
But if you think about your vibrato, as the fulcrum is kind of here. And
Okay.
you know.
You're rolling dice?
You're rolling dice.
Yeah.
But a lot of people think that it comes like from your wrist or from the fingers. But if you
Yeah.
think about it coming like more from your whole arm, that motion becomes a lot more fluid.
Cool.
And a lot less janky. So, yeah. Yeah, you may want to practice that without your friends around at first.
Okay, so two things, because I want to talk a little bit about these other slides, or at least like hear some of the differences. The other thing that we didn't mention, I had to raise the action on this guitar in order to even be remotely capable of having it not sound like absolute ass. So I'm actually really impressed that you're getting that sound out of that guitar, because the action on there, it's not like it's crazy low, but that's set up for how I play my guitars.
Yeah.
And far low, like if I touch that guitar and try to play slide on it,
if I dig into this the way that I play my guitars, I'd be fretting out like crazy. Like I have to change my touch quite a bit to play this.
Yes, but it's still impressive that you can change your touch to be able to do it.
I literally can't do anything else in my life. So
nice.
I don't even have my driver's license.
Okay, so just so we don't end up going way too long, so let's just talk about glass versus, is this nickel? Is that what that is?
That's nickel. Yeah.
Nickel. Okay. Brass, nickel, glass.
Okay. So I like brass. I like
it has ass in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So does glass. I like the way that metal sounds. There is a
metal.
Yeah, exactly. But I always have glass slides on hand, especially doing session work, because sometimes people are like, I really want slide on this, and then I come and play and they go, is there any way to get that scratchiness gone? And so I do find that the glass slides have less. It's you never get rid of it. But I asked you guys to grab a compressor because I want to kind of like get some.
Do you want this so the action's a little higher, or do you want to do that?
No, it's okay. Yeah. Yeah. This guitar feels great. I'll turn off the drive. This is the Andy Wood compressor.
Yeah, the Sir Woodshed comp, I think is what it's called. Oh, Lukey got it for us so you can see it. So.
I don't know if that's going to make it easier to hear or harder to hear. So that's my standard. This is this is a full-on small one, I think. Yeah. So you can see, I don't know if the cameras can get in close enough, but there's like probably a good
almost a centimeter. Yeah.
Yeah. The Americans are like, what's a centimeter?
There's a 1/4 inch difference there, buds. Yeah. That sounds bright.
Sounds bright. It was actually a bit darker.
You think that's darker?
I don't know.
I mean, let's do it again. I think the brass is brighter. It's definitely like pingier.
Shit, I don't know. Let us know in the comment section. I can't hear
like Derek,
anything.
your ears are shot. Also,
or my
quite
ears
possible.
Are shot. Yeah. Here's a glass one.
Oh yeah.
Especially like in a neck pickup. I'm hearing like a little bit of acoustic noise.
Yep.
But like coming from the amp, much less. So yeah, I'll always have a glass one around. I also like the lower profile, like just the nature of these are hand blown and they're just, the walls of them are quite a bit thicker. So the actual diameter is quite a bit bigger. And I've just gotten so used to how streamlined these are.
It's way cleaner sounding. Yeah. Like for
a lot of people do like glass better than metal. I do find that it's a bit more forgiving. It's lighter.
I was going to say.
So it's more comfortable. Play a chord. See?
Yeah. That's so weird to try to do, man.
Oh, I can't believe I did that for you.
Yeah.
This is gonna need an R rating.
Feel violated. But you're absolutely right.
I'm the HR guy after all.
I think the hardest thing for me to get used to, there's two things, but I think the hardest thing is that I am used to my hand being like that. Like I'm not used to having proper technique and being completely like perpendicular to the fret.
One thing I'm noticing that you're doing, and one of my greatest slide heroes, Lowell George from Little Feet, he did the same thing. My dad does the same thing when he plays slide. He puts his thumb underneath the fretboard.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because I think probably I grew up trying to have really my technique is garbage now, but like playing, so I grew up trying to have this technique anyway. So it's not not that my technique is dog shit now, but this is definitely more comfortable. But I find I see a lot of this.
Yeah.
People and like if you're pushing up on your thumb, so it's not like you're not anchoring.
Oh no. Yeah. Do you know why I'm doing?
Lowell would also play way up
Very
on the
cool.
way up on high above the fretboard, and you can't do that really.
So the reason I'm doing that is because I actually where my bad technique comes in is that I grip the shit out of the neck when I just normally play. Do
you find that you also prematurely chew rock candy?
No. So because I grip so hard.
I wonder what that means.
And I also dig in pretty hard.
Yeah.
I don't have a good mechanism to stop myself from doing that. It feels so unnatural to not be pushing really hard.
Yeah.
So in order to not have that, if I put my foot on or my thumb under, I can't push back as hard.
That brings up a really cool point, which I advocate a lot for my students when I teach. It's like playing in an open tuning changed my guitar playing so much, but not because it wasn't about the open tuning. It was about taking me outside of my comfort zone and forcing me to look at something with a different perspective. And I wound up getting back so much more understanding about music than I did just reading about things or studying things or whatever. It changed the way that I looked at the fretboard and the way I thought about music and the way I thought about playing music. And so doing something like this and having you interact with I actually dig in really hard. This is maybe a good indicator to try and it just forces you to be super present,
Yep.
Something that I know we're going long, but something I thought might be kind of fun would be for me to throw a slide on a different finger and see how bad it sounds.
Yeah.
My Bonnie Raitt is my favorite, one of my other favorite slide guitar players. My top three are Ry Cooder, Bonnie Raitt, and Lowell George. And Bonnie plays on her middle finger. I can't do it. It's not terrible, but
I was gonna say your definition of can't do it and my can't do it are two different things, Joe.
She has this really cool, super slow vibrato. And I kind of feel like the middle finger has something to do with that a little bit.
Yeah, it's
I don't know why, but
do you think that it's maybe that she actually just hates a lot of people and is just just happy to be yeah. She's just giving the bird to everybody constantly while she plays.
Yeah,
it's
probably.
Yeah.
My buddy Sean Varro, who's a great guitar player, was from Saskatoon, lives in Vancouver now, but he plays a lap steel, but he uses 3 slides at once. Yeah, he's a mutant. Yeah, I can't get the angle right if it's not on my pinky. I used to I used to like my vibrato better with a slide on my ring finger, but I just was never comfortable with it. But anyway, yeah, it's pretty uncomfortable to put it on.
Please, any of you, if you ever start playing the slide, please have vibrato. I've seen too many guitar players lately that were playing slide. I don't know who they are, but I've seen too many lately that literally, like, they did this, like, is the worst thing ever. Like, yeah, no. Yeah, they did that. Yeah, no.
Point.
It hurts. It hurts.
Okay, one last thing. Speaking of vibrato, we're going way long.
It's
but the cool thing about vibrato, and why a lot of people will make a comparison between singing and slide. I mean, there's a lot of historically. Lot of slide tradition emulating singers. Like in India, they have a form of slide guitar that's very vocal. Obviously, gospel music, sacred steel, and then Derek Trucks does a lot of that kind of sound. But it's because the vibrato goes sharp and flat. If you slow it way down, where when you're doing fretted vibrato, it only goes up. So it's just a little subtle thing that I think is really, really cool. I like talking about slide guitar.
Yeah.
Anyways, thanks for joining us. Hope this wasn't too long for y'all.
No, and check out Rock Slide.
Yes.
I do really like the little like cutaway thing that's way more comfortable than a traditional slide.
It's because on a traditional slide that's a solid pipe. Yeah. You can't close your hand all the way.
Yeah.
Or at least I couldn't. And this gives you full mobility.
Yeah. It's brilliant. And I do like, it would take me a bit to get used to and like figure out the position of it. But that little like indent on there, for you guys, if you can't see, I don't know how you're gonna be able to see that, but that little indent on there, being able to support your is huge.
Well, I think it's also just a good reminder to keep those fingers together.
Yeah.
And they do actually make some left-handed slides.
Oh, so it's on the other side?
It's on the other side for
very cool.
Some left-handers. So
very cool.
There you go.
Check us out.
Thanks for tuning in, friends. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks. Cheers.